A few days ago, I asked you guys, I need 25 new subs on a video to prove that we should go live on Sunday night versus the Commanders. You ask, we deliver. We will be live starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. If you guys are joining our watch party for week 3 of the preseason, go on ahead, spam Pats in the comment section below, just so I know who's going to be joining us. What's up, Pats Nation? Welcome to Patriots Today by Chat Sports. Like I said, Sunday night, a lot is going to be answered, and I want you guys to be there with us. 7 p.m., we go live, starting with an hour-long tailgate. 8 p.m. is supposedly kickoff for the Patriots and Commanders. Week 3 of the preseason before the real thing happens. Look for this thumbnail on our page, Patriots Today by Chat Sports. Click it, join in, subscribe, and let's have a great time. But on today's show, I want to talk to you guys about my 5 top players that I am going to be watching heading into week 3 because there are several questions that need to be answered. And I do believe Jerod Mayo is going to give these players everything that they need in order to answer those questions. Why? Because Jerod Mayo was already asked, hey, what's the lineup looking for on Sunday? And he said, not sure what Washington's going to do, but it really doesn't matter. It's what we need to do as a team. And he said, if you're healthy, you're playing. And I love that because there are so many question marks at so many positions. At this point, you can't afford to sit people because you don't know what they can do in the regular season. And that goes for the quarterback battle. That is the number one thing I am watching on Sunday, and this is what you should be watching as well. Number one, if Bailey Zappi gets a single rep, I'm going to frickin' lose it. He needs to stop taking reps from Joe Milton, Drake Maye, and Jacoby Brissett. The man is gone, in my opinion. Joe Milton, if he gets in the fourth quarter, I'm not going to hate it because I do believe he has a promising future as an NFL quarterback. I just don't know if it's this year. What I'm watching is Jacoby Brissett and Drake Maye. And here's what Jerod Mayo had to say on the quarterback battle. It's still a competition, and Jacoby Brissett is still QB1. It's a competition amongst all the guys on the field, including the quarterback spot. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys, but he's still QB1. However, Alex Van Pelt also came out and said Drake Maye has significantly improved in the last few weeks. And Jerod Mayo has stated, if Drake Maye beats out Jacoby, then he rightfully has earned that spot. So week 3, in my opinion, is the last chance to settle the battle. Why? Because Jerod Mayo said ahead of Tuesday's 53-man roster cutdown, we will know who QB1 is for week 1 of the NFL regular season by Monday night. So all this drama will come to an end, and hopefully this quarterback room will be whittled down to 3. Get Bailey Zappi out of here. Joe Milton has proved himself time and time again. He's a better athlete. He's a better quarterback. He's smarter. I want Joe Milton as my QB3. I also want Drake Maye as my QB2 and Brissett as my QB1, at least for week 1. Because I do not see the point in throwing a rookie into the fire if you don't absolutely have to. But Tamara Brown spoke a little bit more what Jerod Mayo had to say when he was asked how much the quarterbacks will play in the preseason finale on Saturday night. He said it'll be a little bit different, but I want to keep it close to the vest. All of the quarterbacks will play. I hate my life. I hate my life that includes Bailey Zappi. I'm so sick of it. He got the last 2 minutes in week 2, and I hope it's the last 2 minutes in week 3. But obviously, Jerod Mayo still has a lot to discuss when it comes to the quarterback room. So that means I'm going to ask you guys, who do you want to be QB1 on Monday night when Jerod Mayo said he will know who will be the starting quarterback for the Patriots? Type JB for Jacoby Brissett. Type DM for Drake Maye. But there are several other question marks at several other positions, and I'm looking at who's going to be protecting either Brissett or Drake Maye. I'm looking at the left tackle buildup that has to do with Caden Wallace, Verdarian Lowe, and possibly another signing that the Patriots should make or should not make ahead of the regular season. Alex Barth tweeting out Verdarian Lowe unfortunately left practice earlier this week. Lowe looked like he was dealing with a torso injury. So Jerod Mayo said if you're healthy, you're playing. Well, that might not be Verdarian Lowe, which means you will probably end up seeing Caden Wallace in week 3 versus the Commanders. The rookie who they are trying to turn this guard into a left tackle. He hasn't done bad, but as you can see in the depth chart, Verdarian Lowe has been the starting left tackle for 8 straight practices and 2 straight preseason games. But now that he's dealing with that torso injury, does that mean we're going to see more Wallace, or will we see a potential signing by the waiver wire on Tuesday evening? It's going to make a lot of sense on Sunday night. That's why I'm watching left tackle specifically if they need to make another roster move by Tuesday. Because if you realize Caden Wallace cannot handle this amount of workload by himself, and you do need to have Verdarian Lowe ahead of him, then you need to make another roster signing. Just beef it up a little bit on the left side. But there are still several things that I'm going to be watching on Sunday night, the last opportunity to see the Patriots in full action. But before I get into that, let me tell you guys real quick about GameTime, our sponsor here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. It's super easy to use. All you have to do is download the app, pick an upcoming game on the app, browse through seats on GameTime picks, and talk about all of everything that you guys get to see when you do download GameTime. When you download the GameTime app, you get to just browse through all of these seats, and you even get to see where you'll be sitting from your seats before you end up buying. That's the number one thing I love about GameTime. I have gone to several MLB games for the Texas Rangers. I've gone to several concerts using GameTime, and I even saw my favorite comedian, Tom Segura, in Charlottesville, and I used to live in Virginia, by using GameTime. And if you guys are a little bit of a procrastinator like I am, then you really need to use this app because they have great deals on last-minute tickets. Not to mention, they already have lowest price guarantee. So if you guys want to go ahead and get started on GameTime, all you've got to do is download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off your first purchase while terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download GameTime today because what time is it? It's game time. Who is the Patriots starting kicker? When I said it was every position, I mean every position. They brought in Joey Slye to compete with Chad Ryland, who pretty much sucked his first year in the NFL. Why? Because Bill Belichick drafted up for a kicker. That's still crazy. But Chad Ryland, he's been giving Joey Slye a little bit of the works. Slye has started to pull away these last couple of weeks, which is why I do think expect a lot of field goals coming up on Sunday. Maybe not as many touchdowns because Jerod Mayo is going to finally put this to an end on Sunday evening. You got to think, though. Joey Slye gets an upper hand on Sunday going back to FedEx Field and playing on the Washington Commanders turf, where Slye previously was the kicker for several years. He knows that environment. He knows that field like the back of his foot, or whatever you call it for a kicker. So Joey Slye is going to have a little bit of an upper hand heading into Sunday, and he's already started to pull away. Mike Reese tweeted out that the updated stats between Slye and Ryland during a training camp practice this past week was that Slye, 40 of 48, Ryland, 36 of 47. Chad Ryland 1 for 4 in the end of practice drill, and Joey Slye was 4 for 4. That's huge. This is a rookie second year and a vet competition that I have thoroughly enjoyed watching. But if I had to pick, I'm going Slye, man. I'm going Joey Slye. The man looks yoked, by the way, as a kicker. I just think he's got a little bit more veteran experience. Ryland can maybe get signed before the regular season starts, but I'm going Joey Slye. Let me know what you guys think. Type CR for Chad Ryland. Type JS for Joey Slye. If you guys like that Bill Belichick drafted a kicker in the 4th round, Chad Ryland's your guy. If you like the kicker that looked like he could also be a linebacker in his previous life, that's going to be Joey Slye for you. All right, moving on to the 4th thing I'm watching on Sunday night, 3rd string running back. This has actually been a pretty tough test that might end up changing Alex Van Pelt's offensive scheme altogether because he doesn't want to let go of 2 running backs in particular. You got RB1, RB2. Ramondre Stevenson, Antonio Gibson. Gibson more of your 3rd down back. Ramondre, obviously your best player on offense. But behind that, you're going to be looking at Kevin Harris and JaMycal Hasty. And this is really what's making me think that Alex Van Pelt, who is a very run-heavy type of offensive coordinator, could maybe keep 4 backs on his roster, which would be a little bit interesting to see how that would play out with Harris and Hasty. But I guess it does make sense to carry 4 backs for Alex Van Pelt specifically. So if you were going to keep all 4 backs, it would have to be Kevin Harris, be number 3, and JaMycal Hasty, be number 4. But that's not a guarantee that they're going to keep 4 backs because they may end up keeping 7 wide receivers if Jerod Mayo likes what he's seeing in the passing game. So there's several moving parts here, but Sunday is going to be the telltale all between Harris and Hasty. The good news is they're very similar in a lot of their skill sets. They're both hard-nosed running backs. They're the power option. They're going to fall forward. They're going to bully through the gaps, bully through the lines to get that extra couple of yards. That's what I've always enjoyed. Plus, not to mention, Kevin Harris already scored a touchdown in Week 2 versus the Eagles, courtesy of Drake Maye. So we know that he's got that red zone experience. So it's going to be a battle to the finish if they do end up taking 3, not 4 running backs. Last thing I'm going to be watching out of several things on Sunday evening is the tight wide receiver room and what it's coming down to in the last final days of training camp. The latest reports that I have seen right before I made this video is that Tyquan Thornton looks like a guarantee for the 53-man roster, which is insane because this man has struggled through OTAs and minicamps. But training camp and preseason, where it's at, he's been climbing the ladder. He's been making contested catches, but so is Kayshon Boutte. This is where Sunday it gets a little bit spicy. Thornton and Boutte have been working their booties off, in preseason to try and make that 53-man roster. And honestly, I could see it going either way. I could also see Van Pelt taking 3 running backs and maybe increasing up to 6 and 7 wide receivers. Nonetheless, whoever doesn't make it, I could see signing with the practice squad because injuries happen and you're getting 2 good wide receivers there for your 3rd, 4th option. But I don't see both staying, which is a little bit tough because they have similar skill sets. But I have seen Kayshon Boutte excel more in preseason games, but I've seen Thornton excel more in training camp practices. Plus, I don't know how much I trust Thornton. Having played 13 games in his first season, having played 9 games in his second season, and he's done this shit before. He looks really good. And then he gets the regular season, you're like, who is this? Who signed him? Who's in charge of this? That's what I don't want to happen with Tyquan Thornton. Don't just show me in training camp when it's shells and X's and O's. You need to produce if they end up signing him to the 53-man roster. But this is the last look at all positions before Tuesday's 53-man cut. This will be the final roster heading into Week 1. This is the last opportunity to see all the New England Patriots. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be live. And I want to know one last question here. Which Patriots player are you watching on Sunday night? It can be a player. It can be a position. Let me know in the comment section down below. Like I said, there are several that need to be distinguished on Sunday evening. And if you guys want to comment down below, spam Pats if you guys will be joining us. Patriots versus Commanders, 7 p.m. We kick off our tailgate. 8 p.m. is when the Patriots kick off at FedEx Field versus the Commanders. So if you guys want to join us, all you've got to do is hit that sub button for me.